Right. Well, welcome, Lee, as a brand new member to the Business Network South Manchester. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Simon, for having me. My name's Lee Ali. I'm the founder and managing director of Expo Stars Interactive. We're a trade show performance agency based in the centre of Manchester, but we work worldwide.
Right. And how did you end up being the managing director of Expo Stars? What was the background to all that?
It's all about being in the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the right time. It depends how you look at it. So I was in Chicago working for a software company 16 years ago, and I saw an opportunity where exhibitors were not engaging with the attendees. And there were several exhibitors that I saw were doing a smashing job. And I just basically said, what are those exhibitors doing? And why is the majority of the room not doing that? And it was a case of not having the right education about exhibiting and not having the right personnel on the booth to do that. So I came back to Manchester and decided that it would be a great idea to give up a six-figure salary and start something on my own.
Brilliant. And you're so right, because I mean, I've been to a lot of expos, but also stood on those stands as well, and it's, so many times you walk around and people on their phones or they're sat behind a desk, putting all these barriers in front of you. So, it is an art form, isn't it? Going to an expo, definitely.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, at the Business Network, we asked you a personal question. So, when you're not teaching us all how to be better exhibitors, what do you do in your spare time?
Quite a lot, really. I love running, keeping fit. I'm very much into my spiritualism, so I'm a Reiki practitioner as well. And then for my sins, I'm a Man United fan. So things are not going well at the moment, so I try not to watch them. And then on top of that, I love traveling, and I'm fortunate enough that my job allows me to travel. So far, I think I've been to about 53 countries and counting.
Wow.
And I love traveling and socializing and pretty much, and spending time with the family. I've got 5 kids, all grown up. So trying to spend time with them as well. So
right. Well, don't worry too much about being the United fan, because Wynn's won as well. So she's suffering with you. So don't worry about it. So right. Things like podcasts. Do you listen to any?
I do.
Right.
So on the way into work every morning, I'm a religious listener to the Huberman Labs podcast. So it's Andrew Huberman. He is a professor of ophthalmology at Stanford University. And his podcast is absolutely amazing in that it gives you real life science based facts on how to optimize your life. Okay, so just recently I've been listening to a podcast about how to optimize your eating habits. Okay, so how to restrict from eating. Like I'm now following a rule where I'm eating between 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and hopefully that will help me lose weight, have more energy, and be able to sleep well at night and wake up with some fantastic energy in the morning.
Great. Brilliant. Oh, well, I'll have to look out for that. And books. Do you read any? Do you read any books? Have you any books you'd like to recommend? That's what I should have said.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few actually. And in my game, one of my favorite books that I've actually come across is called Questions That Sell by a chap called Paul Cherry. And as we were talking about exhibitions, the great thing about this book is that it actually teaches you how to ask the right questions at the right time to engage people in conversation. Okay. And the thing about these questions that he recommends is that what they do is they get people to ask questions in themselves. Okay, so once you ask a deep question, what it does do, it gives you clues as to what their pain points are, okay, or what their aspirations are, or information that you can actually then use to engage with them on a deeper level, okay. And every day, as you know, you're a network guru, Simon. And one of the key things about networking is that you've got to ask the right engaging questions to build that engagement. Otherwise, if you just ask, oh, what is it that you do? Okay, then obviously you're going to die a death. Okay, but if you ask more interesting questions, like, I mean, a good one for me is like, what brings you here today? Okay, so and if people ask me that question, I always say, well, 4 wheels. I'm just kidding.
I did go to a network and I asked this gentleman, I said, where have you come from? And he said, Hong Kong. And he had a little glint in his eyes, you know. And I burst out laughing and said, no, I've only come from Sale.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. And the final question is, have you any words of wisdom for us?
Oh, I could spend 6 hours. I don't think we've got 6 hours. Yeah. But one word of wisdom is always to know your target audience. Okay. Walk a mile in their shoes and really try to understand what they're actually going through. Okay. With their business, in their personal life. And once you get to know them on a deeper level, okay, and you really get to understand them, or to understand what their pain points are, you'll actually create lots and lots of, a trust that is like, very, very deep, okay, because that's the key thing why people do business with you is you've got to have that trust from them. If you don't have that trust, okay, then you're not going to do business with them. And the best way to build trust is to get to really know them on a deeper level. So really try to, if you're, let's say you're in the business of selling life insurance, for example, okay, you've got to, I mean, obviously the mortgage advisors and like life insurance people are really good at this in that they really understand, what the pain points are of actually getting old and, setting up, your legacy and your wills and all of this. But what you've got to do is actually understand what's going to happen if they don't do that kind of stuff. Okay. And it's the same with the windows. If they don't get that window repaired, what is the cost of that? And it just carries on. So having a really deep understanding of your customers' needs and wants will always help you to sell more. Yeah.
No, that's great. And I wrote a piece on LinkedIn this morning about working with people you like, which is quite important. But thank you very much for taking part in this. That's it's great, and I'm so pleased you took up the opportunity. So new into your business network membership. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Simon.
That's been a pleasure.